Okay, so getting back into our coverage over Night Terrors, we pick up with Night Terrors number 2, where we actually pick up where the last video left off at, where you have Deadman, who's right now possessing the body of Batman, bring back the original Sandman to life, Wesley Dobbs. Now, Wesley was actually part of the Justice Society of America, the original superhero team back in World War II that came before the Justice League. Now, originally, when it came to the original Sandman, he was just a detective. That was it. Now, over time, you had DC Comics do some changings to the character where they said that technically he has powers. Now, when it came to his powers actually came from the Dream. Now, the Dream is known as one of the Endless, one of the powerful beings in DC Comics. And of course, he controlled dreams. But many people were given the powers of the Dream, and of course, one of those people was Wesley Dobbs. Now, when he had that power, he was able to see some very vivid dreams. And with those dreams, he saw a lot of different crimes being committed. And so that led into him becoming a superhero known as Sandman, a detective. Now, with that being said, the reason why Deadman had brought him back to life at the end of our last video, because Deadman had possessed the body of Insomnia, the main bad guy of the book, the one who's right now looking for the Nightmare Stone. And for him to find the Nightmare Stone, he has to jump around between different people's nightmares to see where the Nightmare Stone is actually at. But on top of that, he put the entire world to sleep. Now, when Deadman had jumped into the body of Insomnia to learn more about him, he saw a memory of Sandman in there. And so that told Deadman, okay, there is some kind of connection between Insomnia and also Sandman here. What is that connection? And so you have Deadman ask Sandman, do you know something about the Nightmare Stone? And you have Wesley say, yes, I actually do, because it was one of my last cases, and it was a crazy one. And so that is the moment where you have Sandman tell us that when it comes to him and the Nightmare Stone, it is actually connected to one particular case that involved a cult. Now, for Sandman, he believed originally that when it comes to cults, they're all about sex and money, except when he met this cult, he realized they were after something more than just sex and money. And matter of fact, they were after the Nightmare Stone. Now, when he arrived at their secret base, he did see one person on a table chained down or tied down and was about to be killed off for this ritual to bring in the Nightmare Stone into this reality. Now, with that being said, you had Sandman step in and take down the cult members. But that was the moment he found out that the person on the table who was tied down is also another member of the cult, and he wanted to die so that he'll be able to bring in the Nightmare Stone into this reality. But on top of that, the rest of the cult members, they bought what they believed to be a death potion to die along with him so that they'll be able to bring in the Nightmare Stone into this reality. The only problem is that the potion they bought was a fake death potion. And so, of course, it only knocked them out. But you did have the guy on the table earlier stab himself. And when he did that, the ritual was completed technically, except they needed more people to die. And so the Nightmare Stone did arrive into this reality. It's just that with only one death, it couldn't stay here forever. And so it went back into the nightmare realm. But then getting back to the present day, you then have Sandman tell Deadman that Dr. Fate told him many years ago when Sandman told Dr. Fate about the Nightmare Stone that any powerful item that is a bridge between the dream world and the waking world is definitely a huge problem and cannot fall in the wrong hands. And so with that being said, it's Sandman saying, listen, you may have brought me back to life and you probably plan to go ahead and kill me again or let me die here. But either way, I want to stay alive just long enough so that I can help you solve this case, because this case had bothered me for years and years and years. But on top of that, I'm very scared to see what will happen if Insomnia does get the Nightmare Stone. Now, with that being said, you then have Deadman ask Sandman, okay, well, listen real quickly. is any of the cult members still alive? Now you have Sandman say no, because that was a long time ago. That was back in World War II. There's no way any cult member had actually survived. And so that is the moment where we actually jump over to a random mansion. Now, when we do, you would think at first, okay, it has to be one of the cult members that is still alive somehow. But that is the moment we come to find out, no, that is not correct. That matter of fact, the guy we're seeing right now, he is the son of one of the cult members from many years ago. And so right now, he's having a dream that is about to turn into a nightmare, because in his dream right now, he is living like a king and having a good old time. Except that is the moment he is confronted by Insomnia. Now, Insomnia is coming to him because he is the son of one of those cult members many years ago. And so right now, he's hoping that this guy has some kind of information about where the Nightmare Stone could possibly be yet. On top of that, this guy apparently went around the world and asked a bunch of different magic users about the idea of the location of where the Nightmare Stone could possibly be. Either way, you have the guy tell Insomnia he has no idea. Now, this is also Insomnia wondering that maybe, just maybe, the Nightmare Stone was left behind in this guy's nightmare. But once he realized that this guy is technically useless, you have Insomnia kill this guy in his dream. But of course, with him dying in his dream, he dies in reality as well. Now, we have no idea who this guy is, but we might learn his name down the road in later chapters. Either way, you have Insomnia tell his sleepless nights to go out there and find Deadman and bring Deadman back to him. But then we jump over to Deadman and also Sandman going to Terrific Tech, the home base of the Terrifics. Now, when they do arrive, they only came here because of Red Tornado, but when they do arrive, you have Red Tornado give us an idea of what's happening across the world right now. Because right now, everybody was put to sleep. And with that happening, you have chaos happening all over the world. But on top of that, only the robots right now can help Deadman and Sandman fight against Insomnia, because robots luckily did not get affected by the powers of Insomnia. And so I do give the heroes a slight chance to hopefully win this battle. Now, while you have the three characters talking to one another, well, that is the moment you have Deadman feel some kind of pain, because he's still connected to Insomnia. Because when he went inside Insomnia's body, last video actually, well, it built some kind of connection between the two characters. And so now Deadman is able to see the nightmares of Insomnia. And so that is the moment where you have Deadman able to dive deeper into the memories of Insomnia, where we jump back to Arkham Asylum. Now, in our last video, we somewhat learned, or we thought we had learned, that when it came to Insomnia, he got his abilities thanks to the Lazarus Rain. But unfortunately, that is not true. Apparently his powers came from somewhere else. But we come to find out that apparently he was a patient at Arkham Asylum. Now, while being a patient at Arkham Asylum, apparently you have the doctors just push him around a wheelchair, and they had a meeting with someone else about the idea of the Dreamstone, and on top of that, dreams as well. Now, at first, we have no idea who this other guy is, and matter of fact, we do not learn his name at all, except that is the moment you have Insomnia in the past go crazy. And the reason why, because right now, while he just sat there in a wheelchair, he heard a news report. And apparently, at first, he was happy about the report because you have the report say the Justice League had died. But then later on, the report said, matter of fact though, they came back to life. But as soon as he heard that the Justice League was alive again, he got so crazy and upset about it, he went crazy in the room. And of course, you had security guards in Arkham Asylum had to take him down and put him back to sleep, because homeboy went crazy. But that is the moment we come to find out that apparently they were actually wanting to keep him asleep as a way of torture. They were trying to reach something when it came to nightmares. And apparently, the longer he was asleep, his mind goes deeper and deeper into the nightmare realm. And so technically, his soul and spirit and mind is trapped inside the nightmare realm, but his body is not. And so it gave a way for Deadman to learn a tad bit more about Insomnia, but we're still missing some key information about why is Insomnia doing all of this for, and why does he hate the Justice League, and why does Arkham Asylum, or why was Arkham Asylum trying to keep him asleep? What were they trying to reach in the nightmare realm? Either way, we now have more information about Insomnia. And so that is the moment where you do have Deadman wake back up. Now, when he does wake back up, he tells Sandman, okay, this is what I saw. Because I have a connection with Insomnia, I was able to see more of his memories. But I was able to figure out that Homeboy is still trapped inside the nightmare realm. But on top of that, he's not having any luck finding the Nightmare Stone. Now that is great news, except you have Sandman say, well, listen here. If you guys have a connection and you were able to go to where he was and dive into his memories, wouldn't that mean he knows where you're at because of your connection with him? And just like that, Sandman was right, because we come to find out Red Tornado is being controlled. But on top of that, you have the Sleepless Knights appear. And when they do appear, of course, they're coming after Deadman and also Sandman. And so we're left to wonder, how in the world is Deadman and Sandman going to escape from the Sleepless Knights? But with that being said, this is where we are going to end today's comic book video. So please leave me a like down below and subscribe. But guys, I'll see y'all next time. Later.